For as long as I can remember, we'd sat in its shade to weep. Under the tree together, we yarned and laughed and grieved. We'd move on to higher ground when signs said rain was near, but we'd return to the tree year after year. And when a wound was slow to heal, we'd treat it with the leaves, and when we found it hard to sleep, we'd drink it in our teas. And though I felt great love for all of my country, time spent with those branches above were special memories. One day the tree was guarding us from the fierce sun. We were weaving lamandra grass. I was learning from my mums. From where we sat, we could see the truck that the white man made, and we saw the dust that was rising up as the white man came. We knew not what was coming, but fear lifted our mob. And then we started running, but we weren't fast enough. They came with their dogs and they called out, "Stop!" They came with their guns to round us up. Amidst the dust and the noise, I found myself alone, so I ran back to the place where I always felt at home. I put my arms around her trunk, my cheek against her bark. I begged for help while she felt the thumping of my heart. A seed pod fell on my head and dropped to the ground. I looked and saw seed pods scattered all around. I bent down and picked up as many as I could grab and placed them with great care inside my dilly bag. I held it tight that terrible day that changed our lives because they took us away. They said we were a dying race, so they took us to a dying place. The church ran the mission, they controlled all our lives, they banished our language on the day we arrived. If we were heard to speak it, we'd be beaten, end up bruised. Through pain they tried to teach us, but in secret, words were used. The first seeds I planted near the house where I could see, and I was pleased when they sprouted, but they dug them like weeds. So with my mum, I wandered off in the bush beyond where they would go, placed in holes with a gentle push. I hoped my seeds would grow. Days followed nights, they taught us their wrongs and rights. They fed us flour, sugar, rice. Black bodies grew weak from food so white. Diseases came and claimed our lives. They said we were a dying race, and many of us died in that place. But as we listened to that country and to its mob, we began to see the plants that were medicines, and we found the foods that could keep us strong. We began to put down roots and to feel that we belonged. Some of the seeds sprouted and then they grew, but they failed to thrive. It wasn't the country that they knew. Though their roots sought in the ground to find what they needed, only a few went down deep enough and finally succeeded. Then once again we could treat our wounds with a poultice of the leaves, and when those trees finally grew, they produced their own seeds. We shared them around our mob, put them in the ground, and many trees grew up. They were survivors just like us. They said we were a dying race, but we had the strength to defy that fate. And now, on the country that we call our own, and on the one where we made our home, we sit in the shade of our sacred tree and weave. We yarn, we laugh, and we grieve.